Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Cincinnati High School Sports Awards. Brought to you by The Inquirer. Presented by Mercy Health.
When it hurts to move, what often hurts most is the fact that you can't. Because every rebound is calling your name, and every dance should be danced. It's in moments like these that we step in to help you step back off the sidelines. Because it takes two to tango in this life, and you are meant to be the one. Mercy Health, healthcare for the universe of you.
Talent will always be found. It doesn't matter where you play or where you're from. When you have talent, people will find you.
Some of the biggest names in the world of sports come together to honor the best high school athletes in the country. Alex Morgan, Katie Ledecky, Aaron Rodgers, Sue Bird, Shaquille O'Neal.
Now do you know my name? Yeah, you know, do you know my name? You know, my name is Fire, Fury, Power. My name is Legend. You know, do you know my name? Let's go. My name is Legend.
It's a celebration of athletic excellence from those who know it best. Here are your hosts, Heisman Trophy winner and ESPN analyst Desmond Howard, and the host of NFL Live and SEC Nation, Laura Rutledge.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. Tonight, we get to celebrate one of the most passionate and exciting groups in all of sports, the high school athlete.
That's right, Laura. An incredible list of all-star talent has signed on to help recognize these amazing men and women. We're talking Aaron Rodgers, Alex Morgan, Chipper Jones, Sue Bird, Katie Ledecky, and the big man himself, Shaquille O'Neal.
I love it. You know, I actually think it's illegal these days to have a sports award without Shaq in it.
I think you're right.
So I'm glad he's on board for our show tonight.
Of course, and the Diesel has something in common with everyone else on this show. At one point or another, we all went to high school.
True, and while the time since high school has been a while, for some more than others, we all still remember the hopes and dreams and even the challenges of that memorable time in our lives.
And tonight, we all return to high school to cover a lot of sports and give out a lot of awards. If two people showed up to cheer for it, and those two people were your parents, we're celebrating it tonight.
So ditch the backpacks and summer reading lists and forget about that pop quiz you bombed in third period French last semester. It's time to celebrate some of the best high school athletes in the area.
Of course, none of this would be possible without the generous support of our sponsors.
And you can't have a celebration this big without a little flexing going on. That's why we have sports broadcaster Abby Labar keeping an eye on the land of the humble brag.
Thanks, Laura. And speaking of bragging, we know you love to, and we love to see it. So tag us in your social posts, share photos and videos from your own celebrations using tonight's hashtags. Posts on Instagram or Twitter will be shown on the social media feed on the show website. Okay, so we know every award show needs a red carpet, and lucky for us, two former college football players agreed to host ours tonight. If you don't know them as football players, well, you probably know them better from another little gig they had. The Bachelorette and The Bachelor, my friends Tyler Cameron and Matt James.
Thanks, Abby. Matt and I are so excited to be here. We got out, got dressed up, and stepped into our freshest kicks to walk the red carpet.
Wait, are those my shoes?
Bro, you put them in my closet. I'm wearing them now.
Tonight we get a chance to salute some show-out high school athletes. So who's handing out the roses? The awards tonight.
Careful now. We talked about this and we let that go. We were playing sports long before our bachelor days, so we know how exciting this must be for you.
But tonight's not about us. It's about the athletes of today. the records they're breaking, the bars they're raising, and the names we'll be reading and remembering in the future.
So, whether or not you win tonight, just know you've already proven to be a top athlete. So congratulations, this red carpet is all for you.
Thanks, guys. I don't know about you, Desmond, but I'm ready to start giving these kids some of their hard-earned awards.
Hey, let's do it. We're going to kick things off in the pool. Here to help us dive right in is one of the most decorated female swimmers in U.S. history, the legendary Katie Ledecky.
Katie Ledecky burst on the competitive swimming scene at 15 years old. At the London Olympics, she took home the gold and the first of many Olympic medals. She's added 4 more golds, 15 world championships, 2 NCAA titles, and a whole bunch of freestyle world records. The recent Stanford grad is back in the pool, training for Tokyo.
Hey everybody, Katie Ledecky talking to all you swimmers and divers out there. I know a lot of the world puts us all together in one big group because we spend half of our time in the pool and the other half of the time trying to get chlorine out of our hair. But we are a very diverse group. Divers launch themselves off of boards and platforms of varying heights, and swimmers employ a bunch of different strokes and distances, each with its own unique demands. That's why I'm here. So I can speak to all of you individuals and tell you the key to success in your water world is to always, always, always keep moving forward. Except, of course, anyone who competes in backstroke or performs back dives. That advice would be very bad for you. You guys keep going backward. That sounded weird. I'm gonna go back in the pool. I'll leave all you divers to your diving and your backstrokers to your backstroking. I'll see you later. Here are the honorees for the Female Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Female Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year is Ella Jo Piersma of Seven Hills High School.
Junior Ella Jo Piersma won 2 individual state championships for the 2nd consecutive season. Piersma was the biggest reason Seven Hills finished in the top 5 at the Division I state championship, where she claimed individual victories in the 100 and 200-yard freestyle events. Piersma has verbally committed to the University of Michigan for 2022, following in the footsteps of her parents, Rachel Gustin and John Piersma, who both swam for Michigan and were USA national teamers.
Congratulations, Ella Jo. Here are the honorees for the Male Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year is Gibson Holmes of Indian Hills High School.
The sky is the limit for sophomore Gibson Holmes, who led like a veteran swimmer when he guided Indian Hills to 2nd place overall at the Division II state championship. Holmes spearheaded the team's efforts with strong performances in the 200 medley and the 400 freestyle relay, with the team taking 2nd in each event. But it was his shining performance in the individual 200 medley and the 100 fly that allowed him to take home gold medals, break a school record, and earn the title of Swimmer of the Meet.
Congratulations, Gibson.
If you had to name the sport that most pro athletes choose to play when they're not at their paying gig, it would have to be golf. It doesn't mean they're good at it, but it doesn't mean they're as bad as Charles Barkley either. But we decided to tap someone who makes their living driving for show and putting for dough. Here's Ryan Palmer with the Golf Awards.
4-time champion Ryan Palmer is no stranger to success. On the PGA Tour, where every week is a battle of attrition, he's taken home 4 tour victories, 11 runners-up, 67 top 10 finishes, including 2 in the majors.
Hey all you golfers out there. PGA Tour winner Ryan Palmer here to hand out the golf awards. But before I do, I want to point out something about golf compared to other sports. Listen, I get it. There's no buzzer beating golf. No one is throwing the ball 100 miles an hour at you, and no one is going to smash into you at the top of your swing and throw you to the ground. That's all true, but there's something awesome about golf that you can't find in a lot of other sports. If you've got a couple of hours to spare, you can play on the same courses that Tiger, Phil, myself, Annika and MB, or even Rory and DJ play on. Try shooting hoops with your friends at Madison Square Garden, or play 9 innings at the friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Let's hear it for the game of golf, where legendary venues are open to all. Here are your honorees for the Female Golfer of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Female Golfer of the Year is Eleanor Hudipole of Ursuline Academy.
Ursuline Academy senior Eleanor Hudipole capped off her career with a tie for 6th place at the Division I State Championship. Hudipole made 2 birdies and shot a 74 in the first round. She was named Athlete of the Year in the Greater Catholic League.
Congratulations, Eleanor. Here are your honorees for the Male Golfer of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Golfer of the Year is Jordan Gilkison of Springboro High School.
Jordan Gilkison capped off his senior season, fulfilling a long-held dream with a champion's performance at the Division I Individual State Championship Tournament. He was the most consistent golfer of the weekend and edged out all other competitors by 3 strokes. The #1 ranked junior in Ohio and first-team All-Ohio golfer will be heading to Kent State next fall to continue his academic and golf career.
Congratulations, Jordan.
Carrie Walsh Jennings here. Stick around. Volleyball's coming up soon.
Are you guys hungry?
Yeah.
All right, let's get some apps.
Let's do it.
It's as easy as that. Let us refill for you.
There you go, guys.
Wow, that was so fast. Thank you so much.
All right, cheers, guys.
Hey, I'll be right back. Okay.
No one likes waiting in long lines or missing the big moments.
Did I miss anything? No. That was quick. I know, right?
Do you want a beer? Yeah.
We're making it easier for you to get back to what you love without missing a single minute. Refill.
Did I miss anything?
A lot of sports have similar concepts and equipment, boundaries, balls, and scoreboards, to name a few. But there are 2 that make use of sand. One is golf, where it's to be avoided, and the other is beach volleyball, where it's embraced in all its gritty glory. Here to lend a hand with our volleyball awards is someone who knows achieving greatness is no day at the beach, Carrie Walsh Jennings.
Carrie Walsh Jennings, also known as 6 Feet of Sunshine, is covered in Olympic gold. The 42-year-old SoCal standout is the most decorated beach volleyball player in Olympic history. She and her former teammate Misty May Traynor won 3 gold medals and 5 world championships, earning the title the greatest beach volleyball team of all time.
Hey everybody, Carrie Walsh Jennings here. I know this looks like a volleyball, but in reality, it's a ticket to your future. Because the lessons you learn hitting this sucker around will come in handy down the road. Things like teamwork, determination, goal setting. You're going to need all of those skills. And then, there are the friends you make with this. Ones you'll have for the rest of your life. Priceless. So don't think of it as just a volleyball. Think of it as your secret weapon for success. Here are your honorees for the Female Volleyball Player of the Year. And the finalists are And the Cincinnati Female Volleyball Player of the Year is Carly Hendrickson of Mount Notre Dame High School.
Florida-bound junior Carly Hendrickson helped her #1 ranked Mount Notre Dame teammates take home the Division I state championship last fall, leading her talent-rich squad in the finale with 20 kills to add to her season tally of more than 500 kills. Recruited by more than 25 college programs and ranked as the state's best by many, this 6'2" outside hitter has another year to add to her already impressive record.
Congratulations, Carly. And now for the guys. Here are your honorees for the Male Volleyball Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Volleyball Player of the Year is
senior setter John Loers led Fenwick to 22 straight victories to end the season as Division II state champions for the first time since 2013. Through the team's first 18 matches, he contributed 625 assists, 30 more than the conference's next best. Loers earned titles like the Division II West Region Player of the Year and Division II State Player of the Year. Up next is a chance to shine at Lincoln Memorial University.
There are some athletes today who have been so dominant, you only have to say their first name for everyone to know who you're talking about. They become celebrities, giants of their sport.
That's right. Our next presenter was an athlete like that during her long career. She made her mark as a teenager, practically ruled at Wimbledon, and was still taking home major titles at the age of 49. The name Navratilova will be in the record books for years to come. But for so many of us, all you have to say is Martina.
Martina Navratilova is one of the most dominant players to ever swing a racket. Born in the former Czechoslovakia, the former world #1 claimed 18 Grand Slam singles titles, added to her 31 doubles and 10 mixed doubles. 59 major titles are the most by any player, male or female, in the Open era.
Hey everybody, Martina Navratilova here. To tell you that you picked a great sport to play in high school. Because it's a sport that you can play your whole life. I mean, look at me. I'm still out there on the court all the time, playing for hours, and I'm like 60. Never mind, you can see by my hair how old I am. My hair is thinning. But anyway, I don't know why I did that. Because you guys can just Google my name and kind of figure out how old I am and then Instagram me about it, whatever. Anyway, all the effort that you are putting in now, it can pay dividends well past your competitive playing days. Remember, you can love other sports, but tennis is the only sport where love is literally part of the game. Here are the honorees for the Female Tennis Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Female Tennis Player of the Year is Elizabeth Pendergast of the St. Ursula Academy.
St. Ursula Academy's Elizabeth Pendergast ended her career on a high note with a Division I singles state championship in an epic 3-set match. She won the first set, lost the second, and won the third. The senior was ranked in the top 100 nationwide this fall.
Congratulations, Elizabeth. Here are the honorees for the Male Tennis Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Tennis Player of the Year is
Vignesh Goganeni was named the GMC Athlete of the Year on the way to leading Mason to an OTCA Team State Championship. He added a runner-up finish in the OHSAA Individual State Tournament.
Well done. Congratulations.
Bruce Springsteen once topped the charts with his iconic album, Born to Run. But for this ultra-marathon man, those aren't words that you sing. Those are words you live by. Presenting the awards for cross country, Dean Karnazes.
Dean Karnazes, the legendary Badwater Ultramarathon champion, running 135 miles through Death Valley in 124-degree heat. He later ran a marathon at the South Pole. This superhuman and best-selling author has run 50 marathons in 50 states in 50 days.
Hey guys, Dean Karnazes here to talk a little cross country. But first, a quick confession. I only ran cross country as a freshman in high school. Our team won the state championships and I figured that I couldn't top that, so I stopped running. Until later in life. Now I've raced and competed on all 7 continents. But enough about me. This is about you guys, the best cross country runners from across the country. Here are the honorees for the Female Cross Country Runner of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Female Cross Country Runner of the Year is Ella Lambert of Turpin High School.
Ella Lambert put on her best performance of the year and finished with a new personal record at the Ohio State Cross Country Championships. Crossing the finish line in just 18 minutes 10 seconds, she earned a 4th place finish, the top performance in the Cincinnati area. Throughout the year, she was a runner to watch, earning 2 first-place finishes and consistently finishing in the top 5 in every race.
Congratulations, Ella. Here are the honorees for the Male Cross Country Runner of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Cross Country Runner of the Year is Nathan Mountain of St. Xavier High School.
Virginia commit Nathan Mountain capped a standout preps career by breaking the tape at the regional championship run. He added a silver medal at the Ohio State Cross Country Championships. But it was the Trinity Valkyrie Invitation where he set the new pace to beat, besting his personal record and claiming the state's fastest cross-country finishing time for the year at 14 minutes, 46.90 seconds.
Congratulations, Nathan.
We have loved seeing how you are celebrating. Thank you for posting and letting us celebrate with you. Keep posting on Instagram and Twitter using the hashtags for a chance to win an autographed gift from one of our featured guests tonight. Now let's hear from some honorees with our friends, Matt and Tyler.
Thanks, Abby. One thing you could say about us athletes is some of us tend to be a little superstitious.
Some eat the same thing before every game, some listen to the same music, some people even wear the same socks for every game for years.
Really? Bro, those Sam's Club socks?
Come on, bro.
The thick cotton ones?
I know, but we had socks from our school. You wouldn't wear them. You would stink up the whole place because you wouldn't even wash them. You'd forget to wash them. You still do that same thing in my apartment.
In any case, we want to hear from some of the greats. Let's see what they've done to lock in the wins.
I think I used to have like a ton of rituals. Well, I'm a pitcher, and so we're kind of known for being a little different.
I had my special hair ties. I would have to shower before every competition.
I've always had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before I played.
I pretty much just put on my right sock before my left sock, my left shoe before my right shoe. I never touched the lines. I always warmed up 27 minutes before game time.
But my one, I guess, like pregame ritual would be that I always pass with one particular teammate, Lauren Meyer.
I didn't have any rituals or lucky anything, and I tried to stay away from those things because luck scares me.
There are some things in certain playlists that might last an entire season, or you might listen to a certain playlist that you made and lose or have a bad game, and that thing gets erased pretty quickly.
I do 3 claps on the blocks, typically before I start my race.
Like if I do something before a workout, before a competition, and I notice that I had a good day, I now have to do said thing until the meet is done.
Obviously all rituals are a mental thing, but they were a big part of my preparation.
Kind of like Dumbo's feather, like you don't need the feather to fly. You have it within you.
30 minutes before game time, yeah, it's embarrassing. 4 chocolate chip cookies and an orange Powerade.
Well, that certainly was educational, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
And what about you, Desmond? I would think a Heisman Trophy winner would have some good pregame rituals. Did you do anything?
Yeah, you know, it's pretty silly and goofy, but I used to put everything on in the same particular order. No matter if we're home or away, like the right sock, then the left sock. You know, it's just, I know it's ridiculous. I do it now, even when I put on my suit.
So, you put your suit on in that particular order that you used to put your uniform on today? That's what you did?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I like to hear. All right, that was very good. So moving on, let's get to our next set of awards.
You can't have a high school sports awards show without showing some love to all the bands out there.
Yes, they inspire their teams, energize their fans, and are as vital to high school athletics as uniforms and sports drinks. The Best Band Fan Favorite Award is voted on by the community and gives us a chance to give it up for the band. Here are your honorees. Here are your finalists. And the winner is...
The marching band at Princeton High School has a long and distinguished history that's as diverse as Princeton High School itself. When the pandemic hit, the band was not going to let it put a damper on its many traditions. Instead, they followed all recommended guidelines and showcased their resilience. Princeton's belief that music is crucial to a well-rounded education comes shining through every time the pride of Princeton starts playing.
Congratulations, great job.
Okay, let's be honest. I'm never going to suit up in a goalie gear and stand in front of a 100-mile-an-hour slap shot or block Shaq's shot. But I have put on a pair of tricolor rented shoes and rolled a ball down a greased lane with some friends. So with the help of legendary Chris Barnes, let's go bowling, man.
Chris Barnes, the Kansas native, has claimed 19 PBA Tour titles during his 20-plus year bowling career. This 2018 PBA Hall of Fame inductee has rolled 55 perfect games and is the only bowler in history to win Collegiate Player of the Year, the PBA Rookie of the Year, PBA Player of the Year, World Cup Champion, and the World Singles Gold Medal.
Hey everybody, Chris Barnes here to give a much-deserved shout out to my fellow bowlers. For some reason, bowling doesn't seem to get as much love out there in the world as some other high school sports. I, for one, can't think of a single reason why that would be. As the fastest growing high school sport in America, it seems times are changing. In our sport where perfection is an attainable goal, an accomplished bowler will always have a keen eye, laser-like attention to detail, and they'll have to make all parts of their game work together to be in absolute harmony with their surroundings, just like an athlete in any other sport. So I'm not sure why there is often this subtle lack of respect for bowling out there in the media. Maybe it's the shoes? But at least we don't have referees, right? Here are your honorees for the Female Bowler of the Year. And the finalists are... The Cincinnati Female Bowler of the Year is Rebecca Ox of Seton High School.
Seton's Rebecca Ox dominated the Greater Catholic League and represented her school at the state tournament this season. The junior, who still has many balls to roll before finishing her preps career, finished fifth at the Division I state tournament with a series score of 593.
Congratulations, Rebecca. And now for the guys' lane. Here are your honorees for the Male Bowler of the Year. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Male Bowler of the Year is Owen Senna of St. Xavier High School.
St. Xavier's Owen Senna claimed Cincinnati's top boys bowling honor after placing fourth at the Division I state tournament. With one of the highest scores in the state, Senna put on a show with his consistency, nearly breaking the 700 mark. The senior dominated his area all season long and made his claim for the award when it mattered most.
Way to go, Owen.
In the sport of water polo, think of it like icebergs, amazing displays above the water that'll take your breath away, with a whole lot more going on below the surface. Tactical skill while swimming, throwing, catching, and maneuvering around the competition. Trust me, it's not easy. But these next set of award winners are making it look like it is. Let's meet these virtuosos, the honorees for water polo. Here are your honorees. Here are your finalists. And the winner is...
Sophie Campbell was in goal for Sycamore's run to the state tournament, where her squad earned a runner-up finish. She closed out a strong senior campaign with second-team All-Ohio honors.
Here are your honorees. Here are your finalists. And the winner is...
Goalie Kyle McDaniel led Princeton High School to 29 wins and a state runner-up finish. He was a first-team All-Ohio selection and was honored as the state's Goalie of the Year. He was also named a USA Water Polo Academic All-American last season. McDaniels reached the state semifinals in each of his 4 seasons.
Congratulations, great job.
When you're on the track, you know records are made to be broken, and legends can be made in a fraction of a second. That's why you always have to come with your best. You never know when it's your time to make your mark and when the world is watching.
And the world definitely watched our next presenter. He remains the only man to win gold in the 200 and 400 at the same Olympics. The one and only legendary sprinter, Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson. This Texan dominated sprinting for most of the 90s. Of his 16 major international medals, not a single one isn't gold. After becoming the first and only man to defend an Olympic 400-meter title in Sydney, and to this day, the U.S. records in the 200, 300, and 400 meters still bear his name.
Hey everybody, Michael Johnson here to help celebrate the amazing achievements of the athletes from the friendliest sport there is, track and field. I know all those other sports will be mad that I said that, but think about it. When most sports have teams come together to compete, they call it a game. Some call it a match. But when we compete, where do we do it? At a meet. You can't get much more friendly than a meet as far as competition goes. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Female Track and Field Athlete of the Year is Mackenzie Hartman of 7 High School.
A true all-around athlete, Mackenzie Hartman dominated a trio of track and field events this spring. At regionals, the junior won the 100-meter hurdles, 300 hurdles, and long jump with a second-place run in the 200-meter dash. That success carried on as she won the same 3 events in the Division III state meet.
Congratulations, Mackenzie. And now for the guys' side. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Male Track and Field Athlete of the Year is Gabe Hickman of Turpin High School.
The ECC Field Athlete of the Year, Gabe Hickman, extended his successes into the postseason meets, winning regional championships in both the shot put and discus throws. In the Division I state meet, Hickman was the state champion in the shot put and added 4th place in the discus.
Congratulations, Gabe.
All right, it's time to celebrate those who use a dirty dangle with some tasty sauce to light the lamp. Those guys and gals who put the biscuit in the basket and occasionally chirp their way to the sin bin. The ones who go top shelf on their way to epic sellies. We are talking about the coolest athletes on earth. And here to help some talented hockey players raise our version of the cup, we have Hall of Famer Martin St. Louis.
Martin St. Louis, a 5'8" native of Canada, defied limitations and battled his way to an amazing career. The first ballot Hall of Famer collected a Hart Trophy as league MVP, a Stanley Cup, and an Olympic gold medal. His number 26 was the first jersey retired by the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Hey guys, it's Marty St. Louis. I can't tell you how honored I am to be part of these high school sports awards because you guys do everything for the love of the game. There's not a lot of glamour in 4 a.m. practices. No one is signing an endorsement deal in the back of a car of stinky equipment. So the fact that you all do that tough stuff day in and day out and season after season, it's a testament to your passion for the game of hockey. You all have my utmost respect and admiration. Well, not all of you, because there are a couple who still haven't unpacked those stinky bags from their last game. You know who you are. Come on, guys. Cut your parents a break. Neighbors are starting to complain about the smell. As for the rest of you, great job. I can tell you firsthand that heart and will can take you anywhere. Here are your honorees for the Hockey Player of the Year. And here are your finalists. And the Cincinnati Hockey Player of the Year is Nathan Sunderhouse of Northern Kentucky Norse.
Connor's Nathan Sunderhouse left it all out on the ice and had a remarkable senior year. The centerman claims the area's top boys hockey honor after leading his squad in scoring this season. He led the team to 37 wins and a trip to the state championship. Sunderhouse had a whopping 80 goals and 60 assists in his final high school season. He plans to play junior hockey after his high school graduation.
Congratulations on a great season, Nathan.
All right, fun fact time here.
Okay.
Desmond, did you know that the origins of field hockey predate those of its chillier cousin ice hockey by several thousand years?
I did not, Laura. But did you know that Amanda Magadan is an incredibly talented, decorated midfielder for Team USA?
Huh.
And she's here to present our Field Hockey Awards.
Amanda Magadan, the 26-year-old midfielder from New Jersey, embodies speed and endurance. She's represented the U.S. since 2016 and has already collected 80 international caps to date.
Hey everybody, Amanda Magadan here to present the Field Hockey Awards. I don't know about you girls, but one of my favorite things about our sport is watching someone experience it for the first time. You can always see them on the sidelines and in the stands. You can tell it's their first game because their eyes look like this, and they can't believe what they're seeing. They usually come in thinking, oh, it's just some girls in skirts having a bit of a run while knocking a ball about. Then they see with their own eyes how hard we swing the sticks, the velocity of the ball, and how little protection gear we wear. They see how fast and far we run, and run, and run. And you'll usually see them grab their lower back with sympathy pain just watching how much time we spend standing up and getting low during a game. And by the end of the game, their expression has totally changed. They have a much greater appreciation for what we do. And that's my favorite thing. My second favorite thing is handing out awards to you guys. So let's do that. Here are your honorees for the Field Hockey Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Field Hockey Player of the Year is Bridget Shoemaker of Indian Hill High School.
Bridget Schumacher helped capture a clutch win for Indian Hill in the regional championship finale and propelled the team to the state Final Four. It was the school's best season in 20 years. Along the way, Schumacher earned first-team All-Ohio honors in the title of Southwest Ohio Field Hockey League Player of the Year.
Congratulations, Bridget.
It is called the beautiful game. And we're 3.5 billion soccer fans, that's right, billion with a B, around the world. I think you have a hard time arguing with that description.
Just like no one can argue that Alex Morgan is one of the most accomplished players, man or woman, in the history of the U.S. national team, and the perfect choice to present our soccer awards.
When Alex Morgan steps on the pitch, it is game on. With a knack for late-game heroics, Morgan's goal in extra time in the semifinals of the London Olympics helped propel the U.S. to gold. She would go on to win the World Cup in 2014 and 19.
Hey everybody, Alex Morgan here. I've been so fortunate with all the things I've been able to do thanks to soccer. And you might be looking wide-eyed at that list of accomplishments, so it might surprise you to know that in this interaction we are having right now, I'm the envious one. I'm not kidding, because you guys are in or just finished high school, and I absolutely loved my time in high school. It was Dunbar High School in Southern California. Go Brahmas! Our colors were purple and gold, and our cheer was loud and proud. Yeah, that stuff stays with you. I'm envious because high school is special. You guys have your whole life ahead of you, which is scary, but also really exciting at the same time. So congrats on all your accolades, and just try to really enjoy the ride. Your older self will thank you, trust me. Here are your honorees for the Female Soccer Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Female Soccer Player of the Year is Lauren Carruthers of Notre Dame Academy.
Notre Dame Academy's Lauren Carruthers capped an award-winning prep soccer career with the United Soccer Coaches All-American selection. The nationally ranked midfielder was also a first-team All-State player and earned the title of Miss Kentucky Soccer. Carruthers led Notre Dame with 15 goals and had 7 assists as she led the Pandas to a 15-3 record in the 9th Region semifinals.
Congratulations, Lauren. And now for the guys' side. Here are your honorees for the Male Soccer Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Male Soccer Player of the Year is Luke Brothers of Marymount High School.
Marymont's Luke Brothers had 29 goals and 27 assists last season. The senior star was named a United Soccer Coaches All-American. He was also the Ohio Division III Player of the Year.
Congratulations, Luke.
Hey guys, it's Aaron Rodgers, and I'll be handing off some football awards in just a bit. Maybe I'll be saying your name, so stick around to find out.
Excuse me?
Hey, how's it going? Can I get you a drink?
No, I'm just up here to order some food.
No, please, I got this round. Hey, can we get a couple drinks down here? Hey, buddy, can we get some drinks? These guys are slammed today. We'll make it happen.
Yeah, what you drinking? Can I buy you a drink?
Guys, seriously? I'm just trying to order some fries.
Hey, man, I'm getting her a drink.
No.
No, I mean, I'm getting her one right now.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Hey, girl, I got you.
Wow, thank you. How did you get these so fast?
I ordered it through Refill.
What's Refill?
It's a new fast and easy way to order your food online.
Oh, you can just order it right from the bar.
Yep.
And they bring it to you.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, Laura, you know they say defense wins championships. I know you won't get any argument about that from our next presenter. But even if you did, I'm pretty sure you'd let him win that argument.
Yeah, I'd sure stay out of his way. Also, those people haven't met you. But anyway, here to present the Defensive Football Player of the Year is TJ Watt.
TJ Watt, the youngest in an NFL family dynasty, was drafted in the first round by the Steelers in 2017 and became the first rookie to start at linebacker for the Black and Gold in more than 30 years. He has earned 3 Pro Bowl selections, led the league in sacks in 2020, and is a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year finalist.
Hey everybody, it's TJ Watt, giving some much-deserved props to the defenders out there. We all know that the offense is the one everybody likes to talk about and read about during the season. But over the long haul, history looks back kindly on those who defend. Think about it. The heroes of the Alamo, they were defenders. The iconic and beloved lawyer Atticus Finch from To Kill a Mockingbird, defender. Even one of the early super popular video games back in the 80s was called, you guessed it, Defender. And how would you describe a talented player on the other side of the ball? You call them offensive, like a bad smell or a horrendous outfit, like that uncle who always jokes weirdly at Christmas. So keep doing what you're doing out there on the field. People may go nuts for the quarterbacks today, but they'll always remember you defenders for years to come. Here are your honorees for the Defensive Football Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Defensive Football Player of the Year is Dante Corleone of Coleraine High School.
One of the most talented defensive linemen to play at Coleraine High, Dante Corleone accounted for 137 tackles, 19.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery during his outstanding career. Voted the team captain in 2020, his coach called him a nightmare to block. In addition to being dubbed the Cincinnati Defensive Player of the Year, he earned First Team All-Ohio and GMC Defensive Player of the Year honors.
Congratulations, Dante.
A big thanks to TJ Watt for helping us out with the defense. And before we move on to offense, I was thinking, Desmond, if I could get you, TJ, and our next presenter on my flag football team, I could go ahead and just plan the victory dinner before the season even started.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Oh, man, I love to run routes for this guy. His accuracy and creativity as a signal caller make him a receiver's dream.
So more on my flag football team later, but he is one of the best and has certainly carved out a place for his name in the record books. Here to present is legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
Super Bowl champion Aaron Rodgers holds the league's lowest career interception percentage and the highest single-season passer rating in history. The 9-time Pro Bowl selection was also named the NFL's most valuable player last season, the third MVP trophy of his illustrious career.
Hey everybody, Aaron Rodgers here to hand out some awards to incredibly deserving high school football players. Of course, that got me thinking about all the things I love about our sport. One of the most underrated aspects of football, the terminology. I mean, we got the blitz, the bomb, the sack, wild card. We spike, we trap, we fly, we Hail Mary from time to time. Those are fun. No offense to other sports, but while they dribble or bunt, we hit the hole and shoot the gap. They can't stand tall with the Statue of Liberty or transform a turnover into a touchdown with the fumblerooski. So what do you say? We get in victory formation as we salute some amazing athletes from the gridiron. Here are the honorees for the Offensive Football Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Offensive Football Player of the Year is Corey Kiner of Roger Bacon High School.
Corey Kiner made quite the impact at Roger Bacon before leaving for LSU with a Division I scholarship in hand. Kiner, who won the title of Mr. Ohio Football for 2020, has taken Roger Bacon's football program to new heights and to the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Last fall, he averaged 11.1 yards per carry and ran in 32 touchdowns. During his historic career, he rushed for more than 7,000 yards and visited the end zone 125 times.
Congratulations, Corey.
Imagine for a moment what it would be like to go through your day carrying around something that weighs the same as you do. Now imagine that weight isn't playing nice and is fighting you the whole time. It would get pretty exhausting pretty fast. Welcome to the life of a wrestler. Here to help us award these masters of the mat is freestyle Olympic champion Kyle Snyder.
Kyle Snyder, aka Captain America in 2016 became the youngest Olympic gold medalist and world champion in American wrestling history. He helped Team USA win its first world championship in more than 20 years. He'll be repping the red, white, and blue again when he attempts to defend his freestyle Olympic gold in Tokyo.
Hey everybody, Kyle Snyder here. If you want to have a long and successful wrestling career, you have to embrace a concept that is foreign to most Americans. I'm talking about kilograms. That measure of weight that school children and the rest of the world use with ease, but adults in the US can't seem to wrap their heads around. So if you already have a handle on it, you're ahead of the game. It's kind of like learning the language of your opponents. Що може дати вам більше преимущество в конкурентній не думаєте. Here are your honorees for the Female Wrestler of the Year. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Female Wrestler of the Year is... Chloe Deerwester of Harrison High School.
Just a freshman, Harrison's Chloe Deerwester is the daughter of Rob Deerwester, a former All-American wrestler. And Chloe is already a nationally ranked wrestler in her weight class. She won the OHS WCA Girls State Championship in the 106-pound division and won all matches by pinfall at the state tournament. She finished 32-1 and was named the SWOWCA Girls Division Wrestler of the Year.
Congratulations, Chloe. And now for the guys. Here are your honorees for the Male Wrestler of the Year. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Male Wrestler of the Year is... Briar Hall of East Central High School.
Briar Hall is headed to The Ohio State University next season after winning a state championship in his final year at East Central High School. He pinned all of his opponents during the state tournament and ended the season with a perfect 34-0 record. He was just the 9th wrestler in state history to win all 4 of his state tournament matches by pin. His matches only took a total of 8 minutes, 20 seconds.
Congratulations, Briar.
A lot of today's sports come from purely recreational origins, not lacrosse. Created by Native American tribes, what we call lacrosse was used to train warriors and even had some religious significance. Today, its popularity is absolutely exploding, thanks in no small part to our next presenter, lacrosse legend, Paul Rabel.
Paul Rabel, the lacrosse superstar and legend, has 7 championship titles through his college, professional, and international career. The 3-time MVP co-founded the Premier Lacrosse League, changing the game of pro play for the fastest growing team sport in North America.
What's up, all you lacrosse players out there? I'm Paul Rabel, and I've seen a bunch of your highlights and was blown away. You guys totally do your talking on the field, which is where you want a lacrosse player to do their talking, which got me thinking, why am I talking here instead of giving awards to you guys over there? So let's do this. Here are your honorees for the Female Lacrosse Player of the Year. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Female Lacrosse Player of the Year goes to Marley McGowan of Marymount High School.
Senior Marley McGowan led Marymount to a Division II state championship. McGowan was named an All-American, First Team All-Region, and First Team All-State for her season, in which she scored 66 goals, had 44 assists, and won 88 draw controls.
Congratulations, Marley. And now, for the guys. Here are your honorees for the Male Lacrosse Player of the Year. And the finalists are... And the Cincinnati Male Lacrosse Player of the Year is Seth Green of Marymount High School.
Marymount's Seth Green led the Warriors to a Division II state championship and a 16-5 record. The midfielder was first team All-Region, first team All-State, and a Player of the Year while scoring 27 goals with 204 draw controls.
Congratulations, Seth.
We all have that person we look to for inspiration, that drives us to be better, that in turn helps us become an example for somebody else.
And the cycle keeps repeating. Let's take a moment to hear about some of the people who've inspired athletes at every level.
Hey guys, we're back. So let's talk about role models.
Being that person who inspires others is what it's all about. It's one of the main reasons why we started ABC Food Tours, to share experiences, become mentors, and help kids in our communities.
I mean, it's one of my favorite things we do. Give back to the kids, have fun with them, learn from them, teach them a little bit. Nothing better.
Yeah, it's been super rewarding. You know, it's a lot of the lessons that I thought that I'd be teaching these kids is what I've learned
from them.
Exactly.
Yeah, so mentoring, you learn a lot by giving, but you also learn a lot by receiving.
Exactly.
Even the pros have role models. Let's hear who inspired them and who they looked up to.
My role model was Lisa Fernandez. Her standard of excellence was so high.
Peekaboo Street was mine, and without her, you know, I don't know if I would be where I am, so I'm very, very grateful to her.
My role model is Alex Morgan.
My parents inspire me because they raised 3 strong daughters.
My role model growing up was Cal Ripken. He was the all-round player. He was the Rookie of the Year. He was an MVP. He was a world champion. All things that I wanted to accomplish in my career.
My fiance Megan is also a little bit of my role model, just to see how she carries herself. I have a front row seat to it.
I tried to change it to a real model.
I look up to people who are authentic.
You know, I always tell kids it's good to admire somebody. If you like what they do, steal it.
My role model are my parents and siblings.
My role model is my father.
Both of my parents, going back from day one, driving us all around, both of my brothers and I.
My older brother was a great athlete, and I was always chasing after him.
I think the memory of my mom, because she was always so kind and so smart.
The military and their effect they had on me in my rehab.
You hope that as an athlete you can have a positive impact on the community, and there's ways you do it vocally, through social media today, and most importantly through action in the communities.
And so to potentially be that for somebody else obviously is an amazing feeling.
Softball might be the most misnamed sport there is. First off, the ball isn't soft at all. Just ask anyone who's ever been hit by one. Secondly, pitchers routinely hurl it over 70 miles an hour, standing only 43 feet from home plate. So don't confuse softball for being soft. To present our next set of awards, here's legendary pitcher Jennie Finch.
An icon of the diamond, Jennie Finch caught the nation's attention pitching the University of Arizona to a national championship in 2001. 3 years later, she was on the world stage, helping lead Team USA to the gold medal at the Athens Olympics. She would later collect a silver medal in Beijing and go on to boast an outstanding pro career on her way to the National Softball Hall of Fame.
Hey everybody, Jennie Finch here with a question for all you softball players out there. Why can't they make a great sports movie about women's softball? Is it really that hard? I mean, our smaller sphered cousin baseball has tons of them. Sure, there's that comedy All-Stars, but that's really more about the parents than it is about the players. Even A League of Their Own is about women's baseball, where there is no crying, not softball. It makes no sense. Our sport provides plenty of drama. I don't know about you, but I've met some unforgettable characters in and around the diamond. And you have a built-in audience dying to see their sport up on the silver screen. So for any of you softball players out there with a mile-wide creative streak, start gathering some fun stories, start putting together some characters, and getting them down on paper. And let's see if we can make a movie about the greatest sport in the world, softball. And while we wait for that, let's give out some awards. Here are your honorees for the Softball Player of the Year. And the finalists are And the Cincinnati Softball Player of the Year is Maddie Ogden of Williamsburg High School.
Maddie Ogden has used incredible hardships to motivate herself and become one of the best softball players in the state. The first-team All-State player worked relentlessly to make it back to the mound. 5 years later, the class valedictorian and Morehead State signee has shown what determination can do. She'll finish her high school career as SBAAC Player of the Year after a stellar 27-1 season with 331 strikeouts and multiple no-hitters.
Congratulations, Maddie.
In 1936, Major League Baseball became the first professional sport in North America to establish a Hall of Fame as a way to remember the greats of the game from every generation. Induction to the Hall is seen as the highest honor of an extraordinary player's remarkable career. To present our baseball awards is first ballot Hall of Famer Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones was selected by the Atlanta Braves as the #1 overall pick in 1990 and went on to become a mainstay in a Braves dynasty that claimed 11 consecutive division crowns and a World Series title. He captured 2 Silver Slugger awards and was the National League MVP in 1999.
Hey everybody, can't tell you how proud I am to be a part of this presentation to all you hardworking baseball players out there. I also want to say how impressed I am at all the stats you guys use these days. Y'all have a measure for everything. When I was playing, we didn't talk much about range factors or wins above replacement or bequeathed runner scored. Heck, we didn't even know what bequeath was. The only time we ever talked about launch angle was if we happened to see the space shuttle taking off. And exit velocity was how fast the fans left after big loss. But by embracing all the statistical analysis, you're getting new insights into this great game. You're also probably getting a lot better scores on your math tests, so keep up the good work. And don't let your BABIP affect your WOBA, whatever that means. Here are your honorees for the Baseball Player of the Year. And the finalists are and the Cincinnati Baseball Player of the Year is Lucas Moore of Baden High School.
Center fielder Lucas Moore is just getting started, but that didn't stop this sophomore standout from earning first team All-City and first team All-State while leading Baden to the state tournament. Moore, a Kentucky commit, was a .474 hitter, notching 12 doubles and 21 RBIs while scoring 48 runs over the season.
Congratulations, Lucas.
Many of the athletes featured tonight will continue their athletic careers in college.
But our next presenter's talents were so prodigious that the professional leagues couldn't wait. To hand out our basketball awards, we have the big ticket himself, Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, dubbed Mr. Basketball USA in 1995, was the first player drafted by the NBA straight out of high school in more than 20 years. This 15-time All-Star earned MVP and Defensive Player of the Year honors and an Olympic gold medal. Here he is, the big ticket himself.
Hey, KG here. I know all you girls and guys have worked really hard in high school. Have totally earned all the props and recognition you're getting. But no matter how long you play this game, know one thing, they will never teach you at any point along the way is how to give out awards. I tell you right now, it's not easy. It's great that our country is a melting pot and we have people from all over. But that also means that the names can be pronounced a million different ways. So be kind to the big ticket, if you will. If I accidentally mispronounce your name or if I don't get your name right perfectly, I mean, no disrespect. I have just seen these winners' names and I'm gonna try my best, okay? So let's get to it. Here are some honorees for the Female Basketball Player of the Year. And the finalists are The Cincinnati's Female Basketball Player of the Year is KK Bransford.
Mount Notre Dame's KK Bransford was big when it counted this year on the basketball court. The Division I Southwest District Player of the Year scored 8 points in double overtime to lead her team to a win in the Division I Girls Basketball Championship game. In that game, she finished with 21 points, 8 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks.
Congratulations, KK. And now for the ballers on the guys' side. Here are your honorees for the Male Basketball Player of the Year. And the finalists are the Cincinnati Male Basketball Player of the Year is Kobe Rodgers of St. Xavier High School.
Kobe Rodgers saved his best for last, finishing his high school career by leading his team to a district championship and earning All-Ohio First Team honors. Rodgers had 17 points in the district title victory and was named the Greater Catholic League South Division Co-Player of the Year. He'll continue his hoops career at Nova Southeastern University in the fall.
Congratulations, Kobe.
Courage means getting up after you've been knocked down. Failure is refusing to get up. Courage is getting up and doing something about it.
Courage means being uncomfortable and being okay with that.
Be willing to take a chance and maybe go against the flow.
To put yourself on the line for something.
I was always taught that courage means doing the right thing when no one's looking.
Courage means stepping out of your comfort zone.
Courage means you're fearless.
Courage means facing your fears and saying, I'm not scared of you.
Courage means doing the right thing all the time, not just when people are watching.
Courage can mean that you're just not afraid to make mistakes.
Not the absence of fear, but I think confronting your fears.
One of my favorite quotes is by Mary Ann Radmacher. It says, courage does not always roar. Some days, courage is the little voice that says, I'll try again tomorrow.
Courage truly means so many things. Overcoming challenges is the very essence of sports. But there are times when adversity comes after the whistles have blown and the horns have sounded, and it's devastating. The Courage Award is given to an athlete who has faced tremendous hardship and through their strength and tenacity were able to rise above it.
In 2018, a traumatic on-field leg injury threatened to end Alex Smith's professional football career and his life. After 17 surgeries, a lethal infection, and 2 years of grueling rehab, he stepped back into the huddle to help lead the Washington football team to an improbable playoff berth. Here to honor our recipient and present the 2021 Courage Award is a man who is no stranger to hardship himself, 2020 NFL Comeback Player of the Year, Alex Smith.
There are a lot of ways to define courage. For me, courage is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. And the grace exhibited by our Courage Award winner is something to behold. Courage can be found overcoming a sudden and traumatic event or conquering a lifelong condition in ways the rest of us can't even imagine. What makes this athlete truly amazing is that they shared their very difficult, very personal story in order to help the next person who has the same brutal hill to climb. They found a way to turn courage into something shared, something inspiring, something beautiful. And the recipient of the Cincinnati Courage Award is Anna Kieran of Mount Notre Dame.
There's no real words to describe the experience of that day. It was in 2010. We were running in a family race, and my oldest son, Michael, and his dad, Joe, were running. They were ahead of all of us. And my husband told Michael to keep going and to try to win the race and beat everybody ahead of him. And so after that, my husband collapsed of a heart attack. Michael said, "Mom, Dad told me to keep going." And that was the motto that we lived by from that moment forward. And there were times definitely that we would say, well, we don't want to keep going, or this is hard, but it's not an option. My nickname for Anna is Twinkle, and she hates it, but I call her my little star. I'm more than proud of what she did on the court, but that's not what matters to me most as a mom.
Anna and Michael, they were like a dynamic duo of siblings.
He was definitely one of my best friends, I would say.
She looked up to him. He didn't go easy on her. None of her brothers did. And so their relationship was about pushing each other, challenging each other to be their best, but also being that sensitive, soft part where you say, I love you, and you give each other hugs, and you make sure you make each other laugh. When you get a phone call that your son has been in a tragic accident and there's no explanation, it's very surreal.
We all were on our way to the hospital in Dayton the day that Michael passed. The entire volleyball team was there. They all drove that hour and a half just so that we could come and rally around Anna.
And I think I just ran over, and we had the biggest group hug on the lawn of Miami Valley Hospital. And I just felt like they were there for me. It wasn't just about the volleyball. It was about being together in a moment where we needed to be together.
Anna was the heartbeat of our team. As we started to come back, Anna was still not in the gym, and there was something missing.
We had a long conversation. She said, Mom, I don't know if I'm ready to go back. And I said, well, if the roles were reversed, your brother would be out there. And you need to show up for your team. And if you don't, I'll support that too. But this is your chance.
For me, it was a lot about just the message of keep going. It may be the hardest thing you ever have to do, but there's other people besides yourself.
When Anna started showing back up in the gym, it's something different.
Different is right. From that point forward, the team went on a tear under one rallying cry: keep going. They were dominant and left it all on the floor. It was only fitting they finished the season with a state championship.
Just raising that trophy up, I can't even explain it. It just makes me want to squirm around and be happy. It's a feeling like any other. And my brother actually won 2 state championships himself. So I was like, now I'm one closer to you.
Anna, I love you. I'm excited for what is to come for you and for you to live out your dreams. This is your life, and you get to live it to the fullest. And that's the one thing I think we've learned as a family, is to make every moment count. And you've done it so far, and keep going.
Congratulations, Anna.
Hey, high school sports fans, it's the Big Aristotle here to present some of the biggest awards of the night. So stick around. I've been preparing all week. I really hope I make Miss Swan proud. That's my 4th grade teacher. Definitely don't want to end up in detention again.
We've seen so many outstanding individual achievements in all different sports from this past school year. But now we focus on the heart of high school athletics, the team. And a crucial ingredient for success at any level, the coach.
And to present our awards for the best team and best coach, please Please welcome someone who is no stranger to success, legendary coach Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer has found success at every stop of his coaching career, including 3 national championships. He's the winner of multiple National Coach of the Year awards, and this fall, he'll make his NFL debut as head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hi guys, we know that good coaches and teams of this world are judged by the wins and losses. But we all know that there's a lot more behind the scenes. Strategy, teaching, training, and a lot of pushing. But a coach excels when his or her team truly comes together as one. And you know, it doesn't matter what sport you play, there really is nothing like being part of an exceptional team. It's never easy, of course. Nothing worthwhile ever is. The hours and hours of practice, the growth of a unit, going through all the ups and downs, the highs and lows of a season together. When you become a great team, a special bond forms between the players, the coaches, and the support staff. That's like nothing else I've ever felt. Yes, there's some magic needed to make great coaches and great teams, but don't take this old coach's word for it. Let's hear from some athletes who know a thing or two about winning.
A good teammate accepts you as you are, yet challenges you to become even better because they see the best in you.
A good teammate is someone who wants the same amount of success for you as they do themselves.
A good teammate is unselfish.
Somebody who always stays positive.
The way you grow, the way your game grows, the way your IQ grows, a lot of times is off the basis of how you're coached.
A good coach is consistent.
A good coach is someone that can motivate you to do things that your mind doesn't even think you can do.
Good coaches understand that their role is not just to coach, but to teach, to inspire, and motivate an athlete.
Okay guys, they really did say it best. But now let's give out some awards to some who've proven they know what it takes to come together as a team and bring home the wins. Here are your finalists for the Team of the Year. And the Cincinnati Team of the Year is the Beechwood High School football team.
The Tigers won their first Class 2A state championship and 15th all-time with a thrilling 24-23 overtime win over Lexington Christian in the state championship game. All-purpose quarterback Cameron Herget led the way. He made clutch plays in both of Beechwood's last 2 wins, including a 1-point thriller over West Carter in the semifinals. Two-way star Brady Moore made winning plays in both the semifinal and state championship games. Against West Carter, he caught a 34-yard touchdown pass and then the game-winning 2-point conversion with 2 minutes to go. In the state final, he blocked a game-tying extra point in overtime to end the contest after collecting 8 tackles on defense. Beechwood finished the season 10-2 overall.
Congratulations, guys. Well done.
What drives us forward as an outstanding team at Logan AC and Heat Services? The same things that help you succeed in athletics. Passion, teamwork, respect, initiative to grow, communication, innovation, a fun family spirit, and commitment to excellence. Extending our best wishes to all nominees and winners, and special congratulations to the Coach of the Year from our team at Logan Services.
Coach of the Year, presented by Logan AC and Heating Service.
Now for the Coach of the Year, and the finalists are and the Cincinnati Coach of the Year is Kevin Listerman of Highlands High School.
Kevin Listerman led Highlands to its first state championship in April. Highlands finished 30-4, rolling through 4 opponents in the KHSAA Sweet 16 in dominant fashion. Highlands won its 4 state tournament games by an average of 18 points. The Bluebirds hit 10 3-pointers in the state final and 38 for the tourney, shattering the previous state record for made threes in a tournament. Highlands won its final 21 games, averaging 84 points per contest. And Listerman was named Kentucky Coach of the Year by the Louisville Courier-Journal, receiving 60 votes from the 92 coaches from around the state who returned ballots.
Congratulations, Coach. Excellent job.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mark Alloway, head team physician for the Cincinnati Bengals and orthopedic and sports medicine surgeon at Mercy Health. At Mercy Health, we strive to provide the highest level of care to our patients, just as these athletes bring the highest level of competition to their sport. The Mercy Health Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards recognize exceptional athletes whose talent raises the bar for others. Whether it's a professional, high school, or everyday athlete, I see individuals work tirelessly every day to perfect their talent, which is what the athletes nominated for this award have done throughout the year to rise to the top. It is my pleasure to introduce the Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards presented by Mercy Health. Congratulations to all of the outstanding athletes nominated for Athlete of the Year.
All right, guys, the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to reveal the top male and female athletes of the year. Yes. These are exemplary athletes who have stolen the spotlight, dominated the season, and shown what it means to be unstoppable.
To give us a helping hand with the Female Athlete of the Year is the all-time assist leader in WNBA history, the great Sue Bird.
Sue Bird has been a basketball superstar for more than 25 years. She earned the Naismith College Player of the Year and a 3-time Nancy Lieberman Award winner. Bird was the #1 pick of the 2002 WNBA draft, an 11-time All-Star, 2 NCAA championships, 4 WNBA crowns, 4 Olympic gold medals, 4 FIBA World Cup titles, plus a dozen or so International League titles. Female Athlete of the Year, presented by Mercy Health.
Hey everybody, Sue Bird here. We've arrived at my favorite part of the show. Female Athlete of the Year brings together the best of the best, all in one award. It's kind of like that scene in Endgame when all the female heroes assemble, only instead of lasers, swords, and tricked out suits, you gals have sports equipment. But you get the idea. The point is, you have all excelled in your individual sports. You have all overcome obstacles standing between you and success. And you all have earned our lasting admirations. So really, there is no downside here. Just one of you gets a little bit more of an upside. But you all leave tonight winners. All right, let's meet our finalists for Female Athlete of the Year.
Marie Kiefer, a senior from Bishop Brossart High School. Maddie Ogden, a senior from Williamsburg High School. Kenzie Schneeman, a senior from Deer Park High School.
And Cincinnati's Female Athlete of the Year is Maddie Ogden of Williamsburg High School.
Senior Maddie Ogden recovered from a life-threatening accident when she was in 8th grade to become a 3-sport legend at Williamsburg. Once told she may never walk again after hitting a tree in a car accident with her older sister, she had 129 kills and 61 aces on the Wildcats league champion 22-2 volleyball team. On their league champion basketball team, she averaged 14.2 points per game. In the spring, she got to really shine at the sport that she'll play at the next level. Ogden, who will play softball in college at Morehead State, also graduated as a class valedictorian.
Congratulations, Maddie.
Now let's meet the contenders for Male Athlete of the Year. With so much incredible talent on display, we needed somebody of equal stature. So our final presenter of the night needs no introduction.
Yeah, but we're going to give him one anyway, because if we don't, I know he'll call us out and he'd say, "Hey, there's Rutledge, why did you throw the Dealers some love?"
Wow.
So here to present our final award of the night, the one and only Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal, the big Aristotle himself, is feared by opponents and loved by millions. Shaq's combination of size, speed, and strength led to 4 NBA championship rings, an MVP title, 15 All-Star Game appearances, an Olympic gold medal, and a first ballot invite to the Hall of Fame. Male Athlete of the Year, presented by Mercy Health.
What's up, everybody? Diesel in the house, representing for all the major athletes out there in high school. It's time to give out the Best Male Athlete Award. Anytime somebody wants to put the word best next to your name, that is a major sign of respect. It means they know you do hard work to be great, but also you pay attention to detail. It means you rise to the occasion when your team really needs it. It means you make your parents proud. So let's give it up for the male athletes who are vying for the title of the best. And the finalists for the Male Athlete of the Year are
Quantez Calloway, a senior from Holmes High School. Andrew Glassmeyer, a senior from Marymount High School. Luke Veransky, a junior from St. Xavier High School.
And Cincinnati's Male Athlete of the Year is Luke Versansky of St. Xavier High School.
5'8", 160-pound junior dynamo Luke Veransky was a key part of St. Xavier's football offense that won the Ohio Division I championship. Veransky ran for 456 yards and 5 touchdowns and caught 14 passes for 131 yards out of the backfield. In hockey, Veransky had a hat trick in St. Xavier's Conference Consolation Championship. In the spring, he's a highly celebrated lacrosse player who will play in college at the Air Force Academy.
Congratulations, Luke.
What a great night. We have had so much fun celebrating your accomplishments, and we want to thank all the parents, guardians, teachers, and role models who have helped these amazing young adults get to where they are today. You're all so important.
Exactly. And to all the athletes, coaches, and winners, congratulations.
Yes.
Until next year, that's a wrap.
Yes!
Some advice I'd give to my high school self would be, don't sweat the small stuff.
I would tell my high school self to take time and enjoy the little things. High school flies by, and before you know it, you will be an adult. So have fun and enjoy the time with your friends and family.
Well, there's a couple things. I think one would to tell myself to be yourself. And a lot of times that's a lot easier said than done, but I know looking back, I was like every other high school kid, trying to figure things out, seeing what your friends are doing, seeing what your family's doing, trying to see where you fit in. And I think a lot of times as kids, we don't have the confidence to just be who we are.
Only surround yourself with people that you respect, that you love you back, that support you. You've got to have positive enforcement in every way around you.
Continue to be a leader and not a follower. Continue to do right things in the community, in schools, around other student athletes.
It's supposed to be fun. Work hard, put everything into it, but make sure that you have joy when you compete. It's not about the outcome, it's about competing with all of your heart for something that you love. The outcome, the results will take care of themselves if you do that. So make sure you have fun with your team, rejoice in each other, rejoice in your talent, and just go for it.
I think I would tell her first and foremost to enjoy the process and have fun and stay present in the moment. And then I would say to challenge herself and to kind of run towards her fears and get uncomfortable. I think that that's where people learn and grow the most, is making mistakes, taking advantage of the mistakes as an opportunity and learning from them.
My advice would be make the most of your high school experience. How you do that, it's about people, it's about relationships.
Be yourself and be a leader before being anything.